I'm Renee. Welcome to my Kudos Kitchen channel on YouTube and my Kudos Kitchen by Renee blog on the internet. Today I'm going to be making something that I'm calling blueberry and orange sheet pan pancakes. I wrote down what I'm going to use and I'm going to follow my own instructions. I'm kind of riffing off of a few other recipes I've seen on the internet. I'm going to use all-purpose flour, 2½ cups, sugar, granulated, baking powder, salt, milk, eggs, what else? Butter, melted butter, and also for the sheet pan because I'm going to spread the pancake batter in the sheet pan. Some vanilla, which I still have to get. I didn't get that yet. Orange juice, and I am using these little cuties, which are mandarin oranges. I believe they're mandarin oranges. If you know differently, please let me know in comments below. But I think these are mandarin oranges. But I didn't buy navel oranges because I knew I had these cuties in the fridge. So I thought, well, let's just use them and see how they work. I don't see that that's going to make a difference. I think they're going to work just fine. But if you would prefer using navel oranges, be my guest. And I have blueberries. And I've been storing my blueberries after I wash them and dry them all really well. I've been storing them in glass mason jars, and they keep for weeks and weeks. You're going to be amazed if you try this, or if you have already. Let me know that too in the comments below, because this is fantastic. I bought these yesterday. I washed them up really good, laid them out with a paper towel, and dried them really, really well before I put them in the jar. So yeah, that's about it. And baking powder, I think I said butter, eggs. So I'm going to turn the camera down low so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm using a kitchen scale today just to do it by weight and not by volume. Something I'm going to try and get better at going forward. So I'm going to turn the camera down and describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it. You probably can't see, or maybe you can see, but I have my kitchen scale here and I'm switching it to grams. So I zero it out, put the bowl on it, and it is quite a heavy bowl. So now I zero it out again. So all the ingredients that go in from here on out can be calculated as they are on their own, if that makes sense. I'm going to need 2½ cups of flour, which is 310 grams. So that's quite a bit. Okay, we're just about at 300. There we go. Oops, 312. I'm going to remove just a little bit. There we go. I don't think that was going to make a big deal difference, but I'm going to take it out. So there's 310 grams of flour. Now I zero it out again. And now I need a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, which is 50 grams. So again, I zeroed out the scale. We're starting fresh. We're going to add 50 grams. We're at 47, 48, 49, 50 grams. Zero it out again. Up next is 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. And this I'm just going to go ahead and use the teaspoon measure. So there's 1, and I'm kind of going to just eyeball, and 1/2 baking powder. And 1 teaspoon of salt. And I always use kosher salt. There we go. There's our dry ingredients. And I'm going to just go ahead and give it all a good stir. First I have to move this scale because I've heard people say don't ever whisk and things on when your bowl is still on your scale. So I'll go ahead and take that as good advice. And I'll whisk all the dry ingredients together. And then we'll work on the wet ingredients. All right, my oven is preheating to 350 degrees. And as I was preheating the oven, I had my baking sheet, my rimmed baking sheet on top, on the stovetop, and how nice it melted the butter for me, which I was going to just rub the softened butter. That's why I had it on top of the stove. I thought it would soften, and it did. It softened so much, it melted. And now I'm just going to brush it all over the sheet pan. It's making my life a little bit easier and a little bit neater for my hands, because I was going to use my hands just to kind of rub the softened butter everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to prepare the wet ingredients and the blueberries and the oranges. Now what we're going to do is we are going to whisk 2 eggs. And, whoops, got a little bit of shell in there. Let me get it out. There we go. And then I also have 6 tablespoons of melted butter that I melted a little earlier, and it's cool. Always do that, because otherwise you're going to scramble your eggs once you add hot butter. So we don't want to do that. Going to give it a little whisk together. Get her started. Some vanilla extract, about a teaspoon. A little bit more isn't going to hurt. It's actually going to make it even a little better. And to this, I'm going to zest in plenty of mandarin orange, or again, you could use the navel oranges if you want, but plenty of zest, because I want this sheet pan pancake to have plenty of orange flavor. These maybe aren't the best for zesting, but this is what we have, so this is what we're going to use. It sure does smell good. I'll make sure to get everything off the back. So this is going to take me a little bit, so I'm going to continue and see you back in a minute. This is my 5th mandarin orange, and I'm betting that I have about, it's hard to say, but maybe what I wanted was 2 tablespoons of orange zest. So that's what I'm hoping there is, 2 approximately. Then I'm going to turn over my zester, my microplane, and make sure I get all this goodness into the wet ingredients. Don't want to miss any of it. And if you love orange, like I do, oh, you're going to love the smell of this. It's so good. A little bit more. And now what I want to do is just squeeze in some fresh orange juice from one of the oranges that was zested. So probably about 2 tablespoons is what I have written down. Say there's 1. And here's 1 more. Now I give it all a good whisk, making sure to get all that orange zest off the side of the bowl. And next up, we add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Let me give my work surface a good wipe. I was really excited. I just got these new cutting boards from Amazon. They are, I believe they're stainless steel, and they're supposed to be so much better for use in your kitchen because they don't harbor any sort of bacteria, and they're friendly on your knives, which I appreciate that as well. So there, my surface is all clean. Here's my dry ingredients. Let me grab the wet ingredients and a spatula so I don't miss any bit of the wet. And just give it a good pour in. And then I'll give it a whisk to combine But I don't mind if it's a little lumpy because there's no problem with having a few lumps in your pancake batter, even if it's a sheet pan pancake. You know why this is so dry? That's what happens sometimes when you're cooking. I forgot to add the milk, 2 cups of milk. So hold on, let me get that, and then I'm going to add that into my pancake mixture here. Isn't it fun to cook in the kitchen? And here goes 2 cups of milk. Now you could use almond milk or oat milk or whatever you like if you don't want to use dairy, but I happen to have this and I'm going to use regular milk. This is 2%. So let's swap it back and add in the milk. This will make a pancake batter. That was silly that I'm like, what is wrong here? Okay, this will be more like it. And again, it's okay if there are some lumps in pancake batter, even if it's a sheet pan pancake. I'll give it all a good stir. I can smell the oranges, which is nice. Now I don't want too many lumps, of course, which is what we have right now. So I'm going to make sure I get all the dried bits from the bottom of the bowl. And I'm going to let this set for probably about 5 minutes. And as it sets, it will get a little bit thicker. And then I will fold in the blueberries. This is looking more like it, don't you think? Okay, we'll let it sit for a few minutes and be right back. By the way, while we're waiting for this to thicken just a little bit, I will leave the link down below for this cutting board, just in case you're interested in it for yourself. It's gotten a little bit thicker, but I'm going to let it go another few minutes, and I'm going to walk away. Otherwise, I'm tempted to jump the gun and just start early. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, maybe 7. And I went ahead and I looked again at the recipe I wrote down that I was going to follow. And I decided I'm going to go ahead and cook this sheet pan pancake at 425 and not 350 like I originally stated. So I went ahead and I increased the temperature on my oven, and now it's preheated to 425. So next up is we will pour in the blueberries. And I switched to it. Did you hear that pop? Nice vacuum sealed. So I switched back to a spatula because I want to fold these blueberries in gently and not stir them and break them up. So about 2 cups. I'm going to say that's 2 cups, maybe a little bit more. And now a gentle fold before I pour this batter into the waiting sheet pan with the butter that we did earlier. Let me tell you, you guys, this does smell really good. Nice orange flavor, which I love. And hopefully you do too. Here's the sheet pan from before. And now just make sure to pour it all in and not miss any batter. Then I'm going to take the spatula and kind of make sure that the blueberries are evenly dispersed throughout this pancake. There we go. Now I noticed there's a big chunk of orange from one of the mandarins, but I kind of think I like that idea. And I even thought of putting more oranges in here, but I haven't. I wish I could take a poll right now and find out what you would like me to do. Add some segments or leave it as is. So I'm going to just take it upon myself right now to make a decision to, I guess I'll leave it alone. It's tough for me to do, but I will. So that looks pretty good as far as where the blueberries have landed. They're pretty evenly dispersed, all in all. And now I'm going to put this in the preheated oven and let it bake for, well, I think it's going to take about 15 minutes, but we shall see. So I'm going to pop it in now, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes time. And we'll see what it looks like together. I decided I was going to take a little bit more time to fool with the blueberries. I don't want some to have tons of blueberries and other areas not to have any, so let's be fair now. Get some in the corners. There, that looks a little bit better than it did. A little. Okay, now we are going in the oven. And now, what I've decided to do while the pancake is in the oven, for extra deliciousness, I have 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I didn't have this originally written down, so this is a new idea that popped into my head, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of pure maple syrup-ish. There's about 1, there's about 2, and there's about 3. And the pancake, of course, can be served with additional maple syrup, but I just thought this would add lots of extra flavor. And just whisk this together. And when the pancake comes out of the oven, the sheet pan pancake, I'm going to brush this all over the top. How bad can that be? Wait, I'm back. Here's another idea. I'm going to squeeze in just a little bit more orange juice. Because I have these oranges, why not? Ramp up the orange flavor. I'll just do 1/2. So roughly a tablespoon. Give it a whisk. And now, now we're ready. Okay, so I don't forget to tell you this. It's been about 10-12 minutes. I went ahead and I rotated the cookie sheet, the baking sheet, the pancake in the oven completely around. Not upside down, but around. So it cooks evenly. It's got about 7 more minutes, so just didn't want to forget to tell you that part. Okay, here is this beauty hot out of the oven. Doesn't it look good? I mean, yeah, where some of the blueberries, they kind of cratered the pancake itself, but that doesn't bother me one bit. I think it looks really, really yummy. So now, all we need to do is brush the top of that pancake, the top of the pancake with the maple syrup and butter mixture that we mixed up earlier while it's still hot. And don't forget there's a little orange juice in here too, just to drive home that orange flavor. If you think this looks good, you ain't wrong. Give it a thumbs up if you would, and maybe consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell so you never miss one of my recipes. I will have the printable recipe for this on my website, kudoskitchenbyrenee.com, but I'll also have this, the ingredients listed down in the description box below. And then we're going to let this sit for just a few minutes, and then we're going to have my husband Mark, who maybe some of you have met before, come in to give the taste test, the final taste test. But I can tell you just by the smell and looks, it's going to be a winner. So there we go. Give it a few minutes to cool, and we'll serve up a slice or two. Just to make it easier to slice and serve, run an offset spatula or a butter knife around the edge of the pan. Because where those blueberries burst, they will tend to stick a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, a nice way to serve this would be maybe to put it out on a board and just have people cut it as they want to serve. But we'll see. Another smart thing to do before serving, I'm noticing, is to go ahead and run a large offset spatula under the pancake, because as I said before, the blueberries, where they burst, and if they've landed on the cookie sheet under the pancake itself, they're going to stick. So just go ahead and take the time to do that. Okay, good call. Now we can slice it and serve. Now you can make these slices as big or as little as you like. But because we're feeding a lot of people, not really, but we'll pretend, I'm slicing them kind of small. But you could just take a fork and go at the whole thing. I wouldn't blame you. Here's Mark.
Hey everybody, this looks great.
Thank you. I have a piece too. I'm going to try it. So
I like blueberries and oranges.
good.
That's good. Sweet.
Tastes like a pancake to you?
Yeah, pretty much.
This would be a nice way to serve a lot of people pancakes, but not have to stand at the griddle flipping them individually. So,
Good idea.
sheet pan pancake. I didn't come up with the idea. It's been out there for a while, but I don't know anybody that's made the blueberry orange one,
Yeah, you can
like
make
what
more
we
than,
did today.
You can make more than one tray if you had a larger group.
Sure, I could. Or you could. It wasn't hard. Anybody could do it. I really do think
I'll
so.
look online at the recipe.
But my recipe is not out there yet. But it will be. And it'll be in the description box on the YouTube video. So check that out if you are at all interested. So you can also stack these if you wanted to, like regular pancakes, and serve them with additional butter and maple syrup.
Yeah, I was going to ask, would you put more syrup on it, right? There's
Yeah.
some in there already.
Yeah,
Tastes
I brushed the top with maple syrup, butter, and a little extra squeeze of orange juice. So I think you liked it.
I can taste all those things. No.
Yeah, you liked it. So you give that a thumbs up, huh?
Yep, I'll give it a 10.
Excellent. Thumbs up for me too. So hope you like this recipe. Hope you'll give it a try. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them for me down below. And consider subscribing because we sure would appreciate it. So until we eat again, we hope you have
A delicious day.
a delicious day. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I forgot to tell you that it actually took about 32 minutes to bake in the oven at 425. So what was I thinking when I said 15? No, it took double that time, but it's well worth it. And the edges are nice and crispy, so you're going to like that. But the inside is nice and fluffy. So these are winning winners. I hope you try it. It's time to eat. Thanks for watching. Get the full printable recipe at kudoskitchenbyrenee.com.